Hi to everyone. In this video, I'm going to discuss about an one-dimensional array. In the last video, we have discussed about the introduction of arrays, in which we have discussed about as what is an array and why do we need an array, and we have discussed about the types of an array. We have discussed about the three types of an array. One is a one-dimensional array, next one is a two-dimensional array, and multi-dimensional array. If it is a one-dimensional array, you will just have only one dimension. If it is a two-dimensional array, you will have the two dimensions in order to represent the data in terms of matrix format. And if it is of a multi-dimensions, more than two dimensions you will have. Such thing is called as a multi-dimensional array. These are all the things that we have seen in the last video. And today we are just going to discuss about one-dimensional array in depth. Okay. So let's recap the points that we have discussed in the earlier video. Array with only one dimension is called as an one-dimensional array, and index is used to represent the cells of an array uniquely. Index starts with a 0 by default, and index is of an integer type only. We can't change the name of the index. Index type must be an integer type only. And then indices which will be generated by default, there is no necessity to assign the indices to the elements of an array. Indices which will be generated by default, and this is a diagrammatic representation of an array. You just notice here, this array index starts from 0 and then incremented by 1 simultaneously, right? And the name of the array given here is student. We have already mentioned array is a derived data type in which we are going to store the list of values which are all belongs to the same data type, and it can be stored in a consecutive memory locations, right? So that's why the first element which will get stored in this cell, and it is represent, and it is accessible by means of the index 0, and this cell is accessible by means of the index 1 and 2, 3, 4, 5 and so on. And the name of the array given here is student. If I wish to access the element of the first cell, means I should type it as a student of 0. And if I wish to access the third element, means I have to type it as a student of I have to type it here as student of 2. So in such a way I have to do it. And another one thing, how many cells are here means here we are having 6 cells, because its index starts from 0 and ends with 5, so totally 6 cells are available. You just see here just we are having only one dimension, so that's why it is called as a one-dimensional array. And topics for discussion in this video is we are going to discuss about how to declare an one-dimensional array, and how to initialize a one-dimensional array, and how to access the elements of an one-dimensional array. These are all the things that we are going to discuss in this video. The first one is the array declaration. If we are planning to make use of the array, means it's very important to declare an array. The syntax for declaring the array is data type and name of an array, and then subscript. Subscript must be that size of an array must be embedded within the opening and closing square brackets. You will make use of the opening and closing square brackets. If it is of a function notation, you will make use of the open parenthesis and close parenthesis. But for the array, we have to make use of the opening square bracket and a closing square bracket. and then you have to put semicolon without fail. Okay, this is about the syntax of how to declare an array. Let's see the example for this one. Example, int a of 10. It means you are going to declare one array in the name of a. And that means name A is the name of an array in which how many cells I am going to create it here. Here I have given 10 means 10 cells will be created. Array in the name of A with the 10 cells will be created. The cells, the cells indices ranges from 0 to 9. And what about the data type of an array? Means the data type of an array is int. It means this A array which holds only the integer values. How many values it can store? It can store up to only 10 values because 10 cells are allocated there. That's why only 10 values can be stored in this array. It can be of 10 elements, or else even we can store 5 elements too, there won't be no problem. But if it exceeds the maximum range of the size of an array, definitely you will get an error message. So the capacity of an array here for this example is 10 only. But when you are looking for the second example, int student of 20 means we will be able to store the informations about the student. It may be of a student register number 2. But what's happening there? We will be able to store about the informations for about 20 students. We can't exceed that limit, but we may give the lesser number of values also. For example, we may give 10 numbers too, but the rest of the 10 free spaces will be wasted only because while declaring an array itself, since you are giving the size of an array, those cells which will be allocated, those memory spaces which will be allocated. In case if you are giving here as 50 means 50 cells will be allocated. Whatever it may be, you may use it or else you may not use it, but the cells, the number of cells that you are specifying here, that will be allocated. And here also the data type given here is int means we will be able to store only the integer type of data. So this is about the array declaration. And next one is how to initialize an array. Initialize an array means we are going to assign some values to the array, to the cells of an array. It can be done in two portions. One is you can do it in the declaration part, and another one is you can initialize your array in the executable part. The first one method is how to initialize an array in the declaration part. So the syntax is this is an example int a. It's here I haven't mentioned the size of an array. I have given the empty square bracket only, which will be equal to open curly braces. If you are going to initialize your array in the declaration part itself means definitely you will make use of the open curly braces and the closing curly braces, and each elements must be separated by means of this comma operator. So after giving all the elements, you can close the curly braces and you can put semicolon. How many number of elements that you are embedding here? For example, if I am including 6 elements means accordingly the memory space which will be allocated for the array A. In case if you are just giving only 3 elements means 3 memory spaces which will be allocated for the array A. So it just depends upon the number of elements that you are going to list it here. According to that, the memory spaces which will be allocated for this array. This is the one methodology of initializing the elements of an array. And next one is method is you can mention the size here itself. For example, int a of 6 equal to open curly braces 10 comma 20 comma 30 comma 40 comma 50 comma 60. It means you are just going to store the 6 elements, but somehow the indices ranges from 0 to 5 only. You may declare the other, you may initialize the array either in the declaration part or else in the executable part. The place where you are initializing your array is not at all a matter. Once if you have declared the array, the indices starts from 0 only. So even for both the statements, it starts from 0, and the number of cells occupied by this array is 6. Since we are going to store the 6 elements, and here the memory allocated for the an array is 6. Since the size of an array is explicitly mentioned here. If just for an example, I am saying int a of 6 equal to open curly braces 10 comma 20 comma 30, and you can close your curly braces, you can put semicolon. So what it will happen here is, even though you have declared the size of an array as 6, but you are just going to initialize your array with the 3 values, means these 3 values which will get stored from 0 to 2, and the rest of the memory spaces which will be present as free only. So somehow even if you are using those memory spaces or not, it doesn't matter. Whatever the spaces that you have reserved, that will be reserved for this array only. It can't be changed. Okay. And next one thing is initializing your array in the executable part. So if you are going to initialize your array in the executable part, means you can assign the values directly to the array, just like here. Here I have declared int a of 5. It means 5 cells are allocated here. I can assign it directly as a of 0 equal to 10, a of 1 is equal to 20. And you just see here, I haven't given here for the a of 2 is equal to 30. It means that cell is empty only. Why I have written like this one, means that there is no order for storing the elements of an array. You can directly assign as a of 3 equal to 30. There won't be any problem. Don't have an ideas. You have to store the elements in an incremental way. அதாவது எப்படின்னா ஃபர்ஸ்ட் செல்ஃப் ஃபில் பண்ணிட்டு தான் செகண்ட் செல்ஃப் ஃபில் பண்ணோம், தேர்ட் செல்ஃப் ஃபில் பண்ணோம், அப்படி நினைக்க வேண்டிய அவசியம் இல்லை. யூ கேன் ஸ்டோர் தி எலமெண்ட்ஸ் ஆஃப் அன் அரே in a random order also. There won't be no problem. But you just look here. Here I have given a of 0 equal to 10, and I can then in the next statement I have given a of 1 equal to 20, and then I have given a of 3 equal to 30. Yes, of course I can store in such a way. But here I have given a of 4 is equal to 40. So up to this place I won't have any problem. But if I am giving a of 5 is equal to 50, means that the problem will rise, because here you have declared only 5 cells only. 5 cells, it means the indices ranges from 0 to 4 only. But you are trying to store the 6th element 50. The element may be of a 5th element, but you are trying to store the element in the place which are not at all reserved for an array A. So by this time you will get an error message. So which one is a valid one, means up to these statements it's valid. In case if you are writing a of 2 equal to 50, means you will not get any other messages. So in this methodology you can store the elements to the cells of an array in the executable part. But the problem here is if it is of a 5 elements, means you can directly assign as a of 0 equal to 10, a of 1 is equal to 20, a of 2 is equal to 30, a of 3 is equal to 40, and a of 4 is equal to 50. In such a way you can assign it. But if it is of a 50 elements or else 500 elements is quite complicated for us to type the 500 lines of statement. So in order to reduce the length of the code, we can make use of the for loop so as to initialize an array. So what I'm doing here is int a of 5 and then I'm declaring the counter variable I and I'm putting semicolon. I'm going to make use of the for loop since I know very well about which one is the starting index and which one is the ending. Since I know very well about the lower limit and upper limit, I can make use of the for loop. So for I is equal to 0, semicolon, I less than I 5, I plus plus, and in the scanf, within the for loop, I am using the scanf statement. Scanf percentage D, and then I am typing ampersand a of 5. It means when I is equal to 0, it will get the first value for the first cell. When I is equal to 1, it will fetch the second element for an array. When I is equal to 2, it will fetch the third element. This process which will be repeated until the value of 5 is less than 5. Once if the value of 5 is equal to 5 means automatically condition fail. That's why the program control comes out of the for loop. So in this methodology, easily we can initialize the elements of an array in the executable part. And the next one is how to access the elements of an array. So the first process is a declaration. After declaration, we are initializing an array, and then we are going to discuss about how to access the elements of an array. So for accessing the elements of an array, directly we can type it as print of percentage d and the corresponding array name with with the indices of the particular element. For example, if I would like to refer the element 10 here means since the element 10 is the first element here, I can refer it by means of the index 0. That's why I can type it here as a print of percentage d a of 0. And in the same way, I can refer the rest of the elements by means of their corresponding indices. It's not mandatory to type the elements in an ordered format. There is no conditions for typing the element a of 0 as first, then a of 1, then a of 2, then a of 3, and a of 4. It's not mandatory. But for our convenience, we are typing it from 0 to 4. That's all. So here, for accessing the elements of an array, I can make use of the name of an array, and I can make use of the index which refers to that particular cell. So by using this, I can access the elements. For example, this first printf will print 10 and next one printf will print 20 and next one which will print 30 and 40 and 50 which will be printed here. But here consider here if it is of a 5 elements, it's very easy for us to even type the printf statement just for 5 times. But if it is of the 500 elements means just like the previous examples that we have discussed, if it is of a 500 elements, it's quite complicated for the programmer to type the 500 times of a printf statement, right? So in order to avoid that one, just like the solutions that we have found in the earlier problem, here also we can make use of the for loop. So void main int a of 5 equal to 10 comma 20 comma 30 comma 40 comma 50, and you can close this curly braces, and then you can declare the counter variable I. So here we can type the for loop for I is equal to 0, I less than 5, I plus plus. Instead of the scanf statement, here we are just going to make use of the printf statement. Printf a percentage d a of 5, so that the corresponding elements will be printed. For example, when I is equal to 0, A of 0. A of 0 means 10 will be printed. When I is equal to 1, 20 will be printed. When I is equal to 2, 30. When I is equal to 340 will be printed. When I is equal to 450 will be printed. So in this method, we can access the elements of an array. In case, if you wish to print the elements of an array in a reverse order, means you have to give the upper limit here itself. For example, you have to give it here as I is equal to 4, and here you have to give the condition as I greater than or equal to 0, and here you have to give I decrement. So the printf statement, as usual, you can give it printf percentage d a of I. So it means first the for loop counter variable, which will be initialized as I is equal to 4. By the time 50 will be printed, then I is equal to 3 means 40 will be printed. When I is equal to 2, 30 will be printed. When I is equal to 1, 20 will be printed. When I is equal to 0, 10 will be printed, because the condition given here is I greater than or equal to 0. If you are giving the condition as I greater than 0, means it will just print the elements from 50 to 20 only. That's all. So in this methodology, we can access the elements of an array. Either in a forward direction, you can access the elements of an array, or else in the reverse direction, you can access the elements of an array. So in this video, we have discussed about as how to declare an one-dimensional array, and how to initialize an one-dimensional array, and then we have discussed about as how to access the elements of an one-dimensional array. I hope that you have understand the concepts clearly. In case if you are having any doubts, kindly post your queries.